push mine first, and then we press ours here. We are
Okay.
going to be live. We are live streaming.
You're
We
live.
are up here. We are excited.
All right.
Yep,
It is not
yep,
going
yep.
live here on here.
It's not going live here on here.
Nope. There we go.
Yeah. Remember, it takes a little bit, but we're here.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Dirt on Gardening podcast. I am Andre the Farmer. We have, let me mute this. Mute this. I am Andre the Farmer. We have Urban Gardening with Gray and the Chocolate Botanist. What's going on, guys?
Howdy, howdy. Doing good, man. What about you? How's everybody?
Derek?
I am doing phenomenal. I'm a little sleepy. This Christmas season, this cold weather. I'm not sleeping. I don't know why. It's probably because I'm a tropical plant. But I'm doing the best I can. How's you? How's y'all?
Well, this is the season finale of season one of the Dirt on Gardening podcast. It's been an amazing season. I want to thank all the people who are supporting us. We really appreciate it. But what's been going on? We had a whole week, so tell us what's going on and we'll talk about that. Great. What's going on with your week?
Oh man, been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but I love it. Out here in Texas, I want to let you and all of the audience know that I'm actually working on a brand new show with my friends over at Botanical Interest. So that's what I've been doing. I have the new staged area for the new garden all set up. And this is a show that myself and Botanical Interest are going to be doing together on their YouTube channel called Q&A with Gray, where you sit down with me and I just sit there and have a casual conversation with you and answer some of your garden questions, maybe with a cup of coffee, maybe with a cup of tea. So that's what I've been working on. I'm super excited, really happy. 2026 is going to be a fun year. But what about you? What's been going on with you, brother?
Man, I have been just busy in the garden. This was the first weekend that I have actually been home with nothing to do for a whole weekend. And I harvested cassava, I harvested yams, I planted celery, some more brassicas, onions, planted some elephant garlic. I have been basically doing everything in the garden because I am leaving for Mexico on Saturday and I will not be back until after Christmas. And excuse me. And that's going to be a whole week outside of the garden. So everything kind of has to be on sort of auto drive right now. And hopefully when I get back, the squirrels haven't ravished everything or drought hasn't wiped me out. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm putting effort in and we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
How
because
about you?
I saw all the hibiscus sorrel that you have been harvesting. Man, dude, you got like a mother load. It reminds me, I need to go out in my greenhouse and get all mine. Because I'm like, oh, I saw Andre's
Mm.
video. Like, oh, that's right. I got to go harvest those.
See, I'm kind of growing the sorrel just for seed, and we're gonna have the seed available on the website. Because the problem with making a lot of sorrel to drink is that most of my family's not really gonna consume it, and it's a lot of sugar. You got to put a lot of sugar to make that thing really good. And I
Mm.
just don't want to drink my calories like that. I'm trying to lose 10 pounds. I don't want to be drinking all that sugar. So,
Oh,
That's
man, but 'tis the
amazing to
season.
say. It
You
is.
supposed to pick up some calories during the winter
listen,
season,
but
man.
I'm trying to like prep for the picking up, right? So you got to like give yourself a little buffer so that when you
Mm.
pick up, you're back to normal. And then you can work that off in the new year.
Oh, see,
Hey,
that's how I can tell you healthy. Because, see, I just eat and then I just hope for the best and cry in the mirror.
hey, Derek, we need to just mail him a sweet potato pie
A sweet potato pie
I'm not a
and
sweet
some
potato pie,
watermelon.
but you know what? You know what? Here's
and
the
some
thing.
catfish.
Like Derek, no offense, you're just a big guy, right? Okay. No, no, like that's your frame, right?
I guess that works. I
No,
guess
so
so.
when you're a big guy, like everything sort of just fits and it looks normal, right? But when
So
you're
just go
like
ahead.
when
Just
you're
keep digging that ditch. Just keep digging that ditch
I'm
deeper
gonna
and deeper,
translate
man.
for y'all. I'm gonna translate for
no.
y'all. What he said was he was a fatty McFasterstein. Just like my grandmama said. My grandmama told me I was too fat to live. And when it came to that, she was like, "You was just a heavy, but nutty
No.
professor." But no, I am bigger. I am a bigger guy just
Wait.
because I'm wearing all this weight. But if I was to actually like slim down to where I was when I first moved down here, I'm big and tall, but I'm very wiry. It's
You're
just
very petite.
it's it's a lot of fat up here. It's a lot of
No,
fat
but
all over
what I'm
me.
saying is, like, when I carry extra weight, it's just a little pot belly. It doesn't look good at all. Like, it's just, it doesn't look good at all. Whereas
I
when a
see.
big dude has just weight, yeah, oh,
Yeah,
that's
he
just a
just
big
goes all
dude.
over
He's
me.
just big and strong.
Yeah, it does go all over me. I will take that. When I gained this weight, I was like, well, geez, but yeah, we're gonna keep going. So sweet potato pie. And in the words of Andre, enough of that. Sweet potato pie. We're gonna go ahead and talk about that. This is such a good time to be here with you all and to be celebrating again our first of many things, our first season finale, our first season done, our first time talking together over this season, all three of us together. It's just blessing me.
So, you know
It is.
what? Tonight we wanted this show. Someone said, I'm pushing 300 pounds, power to the big boys. Yeah. And the cool thing is when you're pushing 300, you eat whatever the hell you want, whatever the hell you want, right? You don't worry
You
about
do. You do.
Right on.
all right. So tonight we wanted to let this be sort of this is our finale. So we want it to be a show where we have a few topics, but I want fan or not fan, but audience participation, and I want
Yeah.
you guys to sort of ask your questions and bring up the topics that you feel most you want to hear about. I know I have a specific topic that I want to talk about, and I posted a video today about front yard plants. And
Mm,
a lot of people in different parts of the country might not know what front yard plants are. But in Florida, there are a lot of homeowners associations,
mm,
HOAs, and a lot of parts of the countries have homeowners associations. And they start off with the intention of trying to keep your property values high, preventing people from parking 10 cars on their lawn, just stuff like that. But they tend to get out of control and they want to control every aspect of your house at some point in time. And a lot of them don't allow you to grow food in the front yard. A lot of them don't even allow you to grow food in your backyard. In my old neighborhood, we couldn't even have fruit trees in our backyard. That's how bad
mm,
it was.
I just got to say, see, to me, that just makes no sense. If I am paying my mortgage and I am
mm.
paying my taxes, you better get out here telling me what I can and cannot do with my yard. The only person that can do that is Maya Brown, my wife. If you're not my wife, get up out of here. Leave me alone. I'm gonna plant what I want to plant.
Look, and he censored himself in real time. That's how serious we are about these plants and these HOAs. Because
Yeah.
HOA stands for hell on all. That's what it stands for. Okay? Hell
You know
on
what? I was
all.
so nervous when you started that when you started with the H. I was like, where are we going with this? Where are we
Where
going with
you should be used to me by now. Hell on all is what it means. If he should be used to me right now, drop it in the comments. Okay,
this?
and make sure you're sharing this with the people. So when it comes to these plants, these front yard plants, what are some examples for the people who are like looking to figure out what they could do in a typical HOA?
Well, listen, here, this is perfect. Blessed be me, 123, said they had 7 elephant ears that were huge, over 6 feet tall, direct from Thailand, and they measured 3 to 4 feet around. This year they came up and they were so small. Now, elephant ears is a great example of how you can have a front yard plant because don't plant the elephant ears. Plant manga, dasheen, taro. All of those things look just like elephant ears, but they're edible. The leaves
Mm,
and the roots are edible. Whereas when
Okay.
you have, and you could disguise it just like it's elephant ears, right? You could plant it as an ornamental, and people think you have elephant ears there, but you're growing food.
Okay, so pause, because see, now I understand. So you're not just talking about having front yard plants. You're actually talking about having an edible garden in the front
Yes.
yard, and it's in disguise. I get it. Like the
Exactly. You're
Autobots,
growing food
robots
in your
in
front
disguise.
yard with nobody knowing you're growing food in your front yard.
and
Yeah.
then you don't have to roll out upset when they trying to get you to transform your yard into something you didn't want. You see, I'm picking up today. Last week was a little rough, but I'm here today.
Yeah, that's a great example. You're right. And like another one, like ginger. like when ginger grows, it looks almost grass-like or almost like it looks very ornamental up on the
Yep.
top, but you're growing, ginger or what is it? One that you just recently
Turmeric.
harvested.
Turmeric.
Turmeric. Right.
Yep. Yeah, they both look like ornamental plants. You can have a row of that growing, you can have a bunch of it growing together, and it will look like a bunch of ornamental plants. It's a great way to get around rules and regulations in your homeowners association without anyone knowing. Most people can't really identify a turmeric or a ginger plant to begin with. Rosemary is another one that can grow into like a bush or a hedge, basically. Imagine having a hedge of rosemary. Wouldn't that be so cool?
It
I love
would be. And I mean, I think that's something that's big for us to acknowledge when it comes to HOAs and just plants in general. There's a lot of people who are plant blind, right? They may say plant confused or plant unaware, right? But people who just don't know the difference between grasses and stuff. I have an uncle, me, him, and a friend. The friend I always mention that passed this year. We were doing stuff in the yard, in his yard, me, him, and my aunt, and we were talking about all these plants. And he was like, "How do y'all know? Because that's ivy." I was like, "Well, no, that's a tree. Like that's not poison ivy. That's an oak. This is an oak tree." But he didn't recognize it because he just, to him, it's green. It's back here. It's all poison ivy. People don't know.
it.
Right. Well, because the thing is, if you're not in sort of our little bubble, you don't know plants. Like before I started gardening, so 10 years ago, I didn't know anything about plants. And I never saw mango trees in Orlando. But as
Mm.
soon as I started growing mango trees, I see mango trees everywhere that I just would drive by my whole life for, well, whatever, 10 years that I was here, never even noticing them. Because you
Wow.
don't notice that unless you're in this world. And we're in this world, so we think everybody else is looking the way we're looking with our eyes, but they're
Right.
not.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, that's
not at
just
all.
like when you get a new car, right? Now, you just picked up a new truck. I'm probably sure you see that. What's the name of that truck again? What's the manufacturer again?
Toyota.
There you go. But I'm pretty sure you see them everywhere, right? That's how it is. So once you notice it,
Toyotas are everywhere now.
You see Toyotas
Toyota
everywhere?
Tundras are everywhere now.
Lord, you got a country? You fancy. Let me find out.
So from Canada, someone from Canada, they said the same thing in Toronto. They pull up all the vegetable gardens. And, and it's weird to me because a lot of times people think this is some sort of big government conspiracy, right? Homeowners associations are not part of the government. They are just people that actually live in your neighborhood. Right?
with too
So
much time on their hands.
we're doing
Yeah.
television. So this is not a government trying to stop you from being self-sufficient. This is your neighbors not understanding food or plants or anything like that, and they just want everything to look pretty and the way that they've become accustomed to seeing things.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And I
what it all
think
boils.
it boils down to that. And I think to even go deeper, like when it comes to any of these plants and these people being in your yards, like and forcing you, what an HOA can sometimes do, forcing you to cut down the plants that you know and love. We have to know that while that is terrible, and I'm not for nobody's HOA, you need something to keep your tools sharp and clean. This is a commercial. So we are going with Retain here. And Retain is this beautiful product. You see it right here. Retain is amazing. This product, it cleans, it lubricates, it stops rust, and it sanitizes. Retain has been one of our phenomenal sponsors all year long, right? And they have been providing you this show where we give you so much information for free 99. Here's what I want you to do. Type retain in the comments, and I want you to follow the banner and go to retainsspray.com. You can also get them on Amazon and the Walmart.
You know what? With that being said, you're right. Retain has been here since the beginning. So I got another task for you in the comments. If you've watched every single episode, if you've been here from the beginning with us, make sure you give us like a high five icon or something. I don't know the emojis,
Yeah,
emoticons, or whatever.
do this one
Do,
with two hands.
so we can recognize you. We want to give you a shout out because hey, we appreciate you guys coming here every week and hanging out with us. Because we know we're crazy. I know I'm a little bit crazy. So you come here and see us every week, and we appreciate
So much
They're
appreciated.
both crazy. All right. Mystery says, I was just about to plant edibles in my front. I guess I better ask the neighborhood Nazis. Giovanni's got to be a regular. I think he's been here all the time.
Yeah.
Don't buy them sheltered villages. I don't even know what that even means.
We're talking about HOAs.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
HOA.
okay,
Yeah,
HOAs. Okay, all right. I
because
guess
they tell
I'm
you
in a sheltered village. I guess. Um,
they
I'd
tell
like
you
to know how to
everything,
prep healthier pepper plants to survive the winter and repot in the spring.
and they also
Mm,
wanted to know somebody wanted to know the soil, the best soil for pepper plants. So
Okay,
we'll tell
and the
y'all.
best soil. So let's talk about that.
yes.
What do you
All
guys
right.
think?
So for me, right out the gates, one, love pepper plants. Out here in Texas, we're all about some spicy. We're all about some peppers. But let's start at the soil first. I like to go with a nice sandy loam, something that's going to be well draining and something that's going to allow that moisture to, one, hit those roots and then go ahead and pass on. Because peppers don't like to have those soggy, wet roots, or as like we like to say, wet feet, right? So that's your first step. Make sure we get that soil right. And like slightly acidic, sandy loam. So anything that you would plant like your tomatoes in would be perfect for a pepper. Um, Second thing, you talked about overwintering. It'd be nice if we knew what zone you're in, but when it comes to overwintering for me out here in Dallas, zone 8B, I basically just because most of my pepper plants are not going to have really deep roots, I go and take my hori hori that my good friend Andre the farmer sent me, and I dig those roots up. We're talking about maybe 7 to 8 inch roots. We dig them
Mm.
up out of the garden and I just throw them in some containers and then put them in my greenhouse, prune them down real heavy, and then they're good to go for the spring. But what about you guys? What do you do with your peppers?
Well, I think that's a great thing. And you do everything that I do. If it's in the ground, yeah, I'll put into a pot. But sometimes they're already in pots, so I just bring them in. But definitely the hard prune. I give them the hard prune, take a lot of the pressure off them, and put them in my little grow tent inside usually.
Yeah, most of the same. I haven't grown peppers. I haven't grown peppers in years. The last time I grew it, it was like an accidental thing, and I just let them out for the season. I didn't overwinter them. I ended up having to burn the whole thing down because those hornworms, those tomato worms, they got up there and it was the best tasting bell pepper I've ever had. And apparently they thought so too. And they just ate holes in every single one. So I burnt the whole thing down in frustration.
Now, when you're prepping that soil, is there anything that you would add to the soil to make that soil thrive?
Look,
You know,
ooh,
I would definitely add some Thrive Roots to the soil. Thrive Roots is an OMRI listed organic soil and root booster that will truly make your plants thrive. I use it for my indoor ornamental plants. I use it out in my garden. All I do is take a 60 milliliter capsule, or that's called a tablespoon, mix it to a gallon of water, water my plants like I normally do, and they look fantastic and it smells phenomenal. So they are available on thriveroots.com.
And it's great stuff. I've used it down in Mexico, and I've definitely seen a difference in my plants ever since I started using it. So I'm a
what
big
is
fan.
okay?
I'd show mine, but mine is south of the border.
Yeah, he got
Um,
about 2,000 acres. For the soil, so that Thrive is amazing, and I would use some slow release fertilizers. Make sure you read the bottles on your fertilizers. I had a person hit me up who was asking some great questions. I told them to hit y'all up. They were asking about a avocado they had growing indoors, and they used some Osmocote, and they were soaking the Osmocote in water. And I don't say this to like embarrass them or anything. There's some people who I know will do that because they're like slow release. I just put it in water. But slow releases are literally made to release a season's worth of nutrition over time as it erodes. And when you do that in water, you're getting a very concentrated, overly concentrated fertilizer that can negatively impact your plants. So I was like, oh no, don't do that. So make sure y'all are
right.
reading labels.
And if I'm getting you right, if I'm understanding you right, so this is a granular fertilizer that over time, a bunch of waterings, little tiny bits of it get released over time, and they're just putting it in water to get it all out at once.
Because they was like it's fertilizer and they thought it was the same as like that miracle stuff that's blue and you just put it in the water and I was like no, don't do that because when I was like what type of fertilizer are you using, I'm just curious. I like because I'm nosy, I'm southern, I'm nosy. I like to see what people doing. Andre don't know this yet, but I'm real nosy. Every time we go live I peek behind him and I see what's that behind
Hold
him.
on one second.
See, I can look
Yeah.
right now. There's
Yeah.
books. I zoom in real quick, and I'll be like, "Oh, what's that there?" I take screenshots. He don't even know it. But with that, I asked the people what they use so that way I can be like, ooh, is there a new product I've not heard of before? And this person was using Osmocote, which I'm familiar with,
Right.
but they were using it in a way that I've known other people to do it. And I usually have to be like, hey, stop.
But that goes back to something that I think we've touched on before in another episode. A lot of folks when it comes to fertilizers and and take no offense when I say this about not having the being ignorant to fertilizers, meaning lack of knowledge, not calling anyone, insulting
Yeah, yeah,
anyone's
yeah.
intelligence, but when not knowing, you assume fertilizers, hey, if a little bit is great, more must be even better. Let's
Oh
let's get that
gosh.
24, 24, 24. Like, no, don't do that.
Now,
I
every
had
time
a
you say those three numbers, I feel you got to tell people because people don't get the joke, right?
they
Yeah.
If you say
don't.
point, people don't know what you're talking about, but you're talking about the NPK. We're talking about the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and the potassium
Yes.
content of each of these things. So when you see those three numbers on your fertilizer bag, just know that that's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So, if someone says use a balanced fertilizer, all right, you're going to use something that's,
All
got
three
numbers
numbers
that
are the
are the
same.
same, right?
Yeah.
If
Right.
they,
And and the biggest thing is read the instructions and just seek out somebody that knows something. Again, most master gardeners, every morning I fight 7 master gardeners outdoors. They just do not like me, and I don't know why. But Gray is still my favorite. He has always been my favorite at this point. He'll never not be my favorite. Go to your master gardeners or your extension office people to ask them for legitimate help. If you come to us, we know something about something so we can help you, but you have to be careful with your fertilizer because that's the easiest way to just take out all of your plants.
And another thing, most of us, we're pretty nice. We're here to help.
and,
Just ask you questions.
and a lot of times HOAs have reasons for why they don't want you. Someone mentioned here their HO or they've seen HOAs discourage people from growing fruits or food because they want to limit the amount of deer in the neighborhood.
Mhm.
And so there may be reasons, like whether those reasons are legitimately good reasons, whether they're ignorant reasons or whatever. But I believe that all these HOAs are made up of people in the neighborhood. So, they have reasons. So part of the problem might just be education, right? Because if you can educate the people, or if the people that actually cared about growing things ran to be on the board on the HOA, you guys could make your own rules, and the HOA would not be bad at all. The HOA might be pretty good. You could make everybody grow plants, grow food in their front yard.
Yeah, there you go.
You should have a
Everybody,
rule. You have to have at least
everybody's
one food
required.
item on your
Yeah, everybody's
property.
required one tomato, one pepper. But
you know what?
but you know what? With that being said, speaking of pepper plants in that question, which was a great question, um, there is a plant that I'm going to start growing next season that is in that same tomato pepper family. So
What's
Ooh,
that?
uh, I'm going to experiment. I've always talked about wanting to do it because that's that grower in me. I gotta experiment. I gotta try. I'm going to try to grow tobacco next season. I do actually have
tobacco is
family
amazing.
members that partake in smoking cigarettes and such. And when I looked at the tobacco plant, Derek, I know you know a lot about tobacco plants from your
I've grown
previous
millions.
as a botanist.
I've
But
literally grown millions.
yeah, it's essentially grown just like you would grow a tomato. And I'm like, oh, I can definitely do this. Now, for all of you who are asking, I know you're about to give me that question, like, is it the wacky tobacco?
Wacky
No,
tobacco?
it's regular
Well, yeah,
tobacco.
and they should be able to catch that because you said it's related to tomatoes, which are in the
Right.
nightshade family, and cannabis is in a different family that I can't remember right now. But keep
Cannabinoids, right? Or
going.
something like that.
So
But yeah,
you're going
I'm,
to be
I'm excited,
growing.
man. I just want
Do
to
you
give it a
know?
shot, grow some tobacco, and see if I can. It's one of those things. It's like it's a challenge. I've never grown it before, so why not give it a shot?
I like that. I like that. And that's my challenge is the rice. I've been trying to grow rice for a couple years now, and it has not worked out. This is going to be the year. This is the year my rice is going to work out.
There's a friend of mine that grows rice, Bree Author. She grows it in like a like a closed, not closed, a pot with no holes. And she grows it like literally in her driveway.
Hmm.
Rice.
I think I've seen her.
Bree Author, she's my buddy. She's here in North Carolina. We should have her on one day.
Yes.
But She is freaking phenomenal, and she's grown rice. I think in one of her books, she even talks about like sowing rice, and she has videos on it. So you should definitely check her out. But
You know what? I'm sorry, I cut you off, brother. Go ahead.
go ahead,
I
go
just
ahead. I
I
was
messed
done.
up
That
your
was the end
thing.
of the sentence.
Okay. Well, with that being said, speaking about Bree, let me ask you guys,
Hmm.
audience, what do you think? How do you feel about season two? We do some interviews with some fellow gardeners. Would you guys like to see that? Or you just want to see our beautiful mugs every single time? You let us know. But what do you feel about some? Give us some suggestions of people you might want to see us interview in season two. We're trying to go bigger, bigger bang for season two.
Yeah. I'm
And
thinking we
that
could probably do like a 20-minute segment, maybe interview segment within the show or something like that. They don't have to be
we,
there for the whole show, just 20 minutes interview segment, and we move on.
I think that's definitely good. Like, and again, those of you on YouTube, you can also put your comments up. Feel free to comment. We can throw it up so we can see who y'all suggest. Okay, whoever you suggest, we need them to be a person who doesn't mind to be online. So I know some of y'all will throw names up. This happened to me. They'll be like, "Go talk to this person. I go talk to this person," and then I got to basically drag them online. We don't want to have to do that, but let's give us some great people that we can interview and chit chat with. So, growing rice, growing tobacco, I want to, because I feel like we're saying things we want to grow, and I'm just going to
Yeah,
throw my hat in the ring.
come on.
I have wanted to grow, well, I can't say that one up here. We're going to rephrase it. We're going to go. I have wanted to grow um, Thai giant colocasia on the frame of the elephant ears we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I have wanted to grow that for years. I had a couple given to me for free when I was at NC State, and I killed them. I wish I still had them because they would be just corms, and I would love it. But I would love to just grow those. And I'm going to grow hops. That's one thing that I would like to grow. I want to grow hops.
Oh, you gonna
Wait,
start a little microbrewery over there, huh? Some hops.
I really do because I'm thinking like it would be. It's a cool plant. It's a vine. I don't know what I thought it was, but it's a vine, and I mean it's amazing.
So for you guys that don't know, hops is one of the hops and barley, wheat, is a lot of the active ingredients that's in your alcoholic beverages like your beers and so forth. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, hey, call it the dirt on gardening brew.
You know what? You know what I'm growing right now that is kind of a bit of an odd thing? It's wasabi.
That's
Dude,
right. How is that?
yes.
It's growing like crazy. Like right now, like the thing is, it's in hydroponics. So it's in the little cup with the little mesh. So it can't really grow
Mm-hmm.
big root. But now the root is starting to grow out of the thing, and the plant itself is probably this high. Like it's this high.
Yeah. It's
Like
growing like
it's
wildfire. I
crazy. It's
saw
growing
it.
like crazy. I'm gonna
Yeah,
post a
dude.
video tomorrow morning of the update on the wasabi. I'm posting that video tomorrow morning. It is growing like crazy.
I
And I
love
was
that for
just
you.
throwing seeds in the hydroponics because I'm tired of doing lettuce and cabbage and stuff that is cool because it grows, but then you have a huge mess at the end to clean up. And I'm like, I just want something a little cleaner. So I threw a bunch of wasabi seeds. I just went through my old seeds and just random stuff. I said wasabi, watermelon, and one of the watermelons came up. I didn't even use the way you call that stuff, the wool stuff, the
Rock
The
rock
wool.
wool,
rock wool.
rock wool.
Uh-huh.
I put it right into the rocks, the little pebbles.
Your substrate, yeah.
Yeah, what do you call that
That
thing?
is beautiful.
Substrate.
The Aleka.
Oh, leca.
Leca, leca.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word. I never can
Yes.
remember
Mecca
those
like a
words.
high, mecca hiney ho.
Yeah.
I
so
am here for.
yeah, so the watermelon, one of the watermelon seeds is growing, and I've got all this wasabi growing. So I also heard that wasabi's only good when you pick it for like a couple hours or something.
Mm.
Mm. It makes sense. I mean, just like with your herbs, right? When you're picking your herbs and harvest them, like it's better to harvest them earlier in the morning when the oils are stronger in them. So I could see that being plausible for your wasabi. I didn't know it was a couple of
Understood.
hours. I mean, that's a short window, but the logic check.
Yeah, I got. That's why the wasabi in restaurants is always like fake wasabi, right? It's like horseradish with Vicks mixed in or some nonsense.
Well,
Said
I
Vince.
think it's because it's cheaper. I think it's cheaper to do it that way because there's a lot of food where they'll be like, it's supposed to be almonds or some type of nut, and they just use like peanuts
Yeah.
because it's just a cheaper alternative. There was a Netflix series called Rotten that talked about like food and other stuff. You also should watch it if you haven't seen it. I think it's called Rotten or Rotted, something like that. It was on Netflix. And just in short, never buy peeled garlic if it comes from China. That's all I can say because what they do to peel that garlic is disgusting. But what we have here, there was one person who asked, and we talked about it, but I don't think we gave them an answer about their elephant ears and how to make them grow back. And they were asking, like, they have these bulbs, they put them in, and they just keep getting them less and less. Elephant ears, colocasias are in the aroid family, and these outdoors, depending on where you are generally going to love like a good, rich soil. They want something they can get their roots in, and they want to be able to drink water. They don't necessarily want to be like underwater, right? They don't want to just be soaking forever, but they do want to be in an area that can retain a decent amount of moisture or have you be able to water them. And especially those that you were saying they're growing, you might need to fertilize or do a soil test to see what they would need. So that would be my suggestion on getting your elephants to come back because they do require to build that bulb energy, which is in the form of fertilizer and water.
Okay.
And I think Gray is grabbing some elephant ears. Are you grabbing some?
Well, no, because my elephant ears are actually in my master bath, so I don't want to go that far away. But one of my
That's
advice,
about 2,000 yards because he lives in a mansion. Go ahead.
but I do want
That's
to,
like 2 kilometers.
but I do want to show for the question that we had about the elephant ears. My allocations are in my master bath, and I want to show you a pot that I used for them. I would definitely recommend like a terracotta and something that's going to give that constant moisture. Now, this here is my Monstera albo, which is doing great, but
Oh, beautiful.
my alocasias are in a very similar pot. So this is a terracotta pot. Let me pull it out, and it's sitting in a plastic container. It's sold like this. I bought it from Walmart at the end of the growing season, so it's like $6. But I pour my water into this plastic reservoir, and because of the properties of terracotta, the moisture is able to slowly seep in, doing a slow release of the water. That way, you can keep that even moisture that your alocasias and some of your heavy drinkers like to have without getting very soggy roots. So I would say if you are going to be doing something in the front yard, if you have it in your budget, maybe try to look into a terracotta, something that's going to be porous, that's going to allow that moisture to not just sit there.
Now, let me ask you a question. You said that was a Monstera albo.
Mhm.
What's the
Mhm.
difference between that and a Thai constellation?
Ah,
Ooh,
so
show.
no, Derek, you go ahead. I'll show the picture and you explain.
Yeah, so you're up. So look, Thai constellation doesn't have those kind of striations or whiteness. The whiteness pattern is different, right? So when it comes to that elbow he's showing, you're seeing that the white literally looks like strands. It's lines going up. Okay, as I go and grab my own elbow, right? The coloring is different. They're both related, but it's like cousins. Okay, they look a little different versus this plant. Ooh, let's see that I don't rip everything up trying to get this.
And the
Don't
Here
Thai
rip
we
it.
go.
constellation to me looks just like a Monstera deliciosa.
They're all the same, right? But
They're in the
it's
same
like,
family.
it's literally the same plant, but you are seeing the same plant, same family, but you are seeing slight differences. So in those differences, I had walked off, thought he was still on camera showing this. So if on this, for example, make myself bigger here. Ooh, this is taking me so long. It's hard to hold stuff and do things at once, y'all. I'm so multifaceted. When it comes to this plant here, this is your Monstera Thai constellation. Now it looks a little worse for wear because it's like right under a grow light, and I've not been giving it enough silicon to make it where it won't like burn, because life, right? But you can, if you can remember what his plant looked like, it's
Oh,
a whole different shaboing. There's actual just dots here up here.
yeah.
I'm trying to make sure it
Okay.
can show
To
right
So,
in the
resemble like a
front.
constellation of stars. So it's more
right.
spotted and dotted as opposed to
I
striations and those
got you. I got
variegations.
you.
Yes,
But let me ask you a question. Can the Thai constellation, can it produce a fruit like a Monstera deliciosa?
I believe so. I've seen people
Yeah.
sell them online, like the
Yeah.
Really? From the
constellation, the
Thai?
elbow the constellation from the elbow. They will be like, and some of them, and it could just be Photoshop. Sometimes I'm able to pick it out, but they'll look variegated. So
Oh, that
yeah,
would be cool.
But the
Yeah,
only thing
agree.
is going to take an extremely long time because with all those genetic mutations, because that's what we're talking about with the Tycon and the Albo and the all the different variations of Monstera that you have, they're all genetic mutations.
Right.
And with those variegations, those white spots that you get, those are where the plant is not getting enough. It's not photosynthesizing. It doesn't have enough chlorophyll in it, so
Right.
it's going to grow slower. So even just to get that plant, I mean, I've had that plant for a solid year now, and that's how big it's gotten since the original. So it's going to grow slower, so it's going to produce that fruit slower, but it does have the potential to fruit.
That would be a really cool fruit. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Mhm,
Now
mhm.
we had another question. We didn't quite finish this other question too with Janu.
Yeah.
How hard do you prune your peppers before putting them away?
So for okay, so we're still talking about overwintering.
Overwintering, yeah.
I take them down to about maybe 6 to 8 inches from the soil line. That's how hard I prune them down. Now, Andre, I know you're like the extreme pruner. You like heavy handed. What do you do? Like you like a little nub?
That's how
No,
much you go.
I take off all thin branches basically off, and I kind of leave it the structure of a bit of a little mini tree there.
Mm,
But I don't go too crazy with it.
yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, that's about it. I'd probably do the same thing.
yeah.
We had another question. Someone asked about fertilizers. They have different trees, like they have citrus trees, avocado trees, Barbados cherries. Do they need to use different fertilizers for each?
No.
Uh, I'm
I
gonna
mean,
say
yes
yes.
and no.
Yeah, yes and no. Because like with your citrus, you're gonna have like a different thing that citrus trees are gonna require. I mean, for instance, my Myers lemon, I do have a citrus food that's gonna be a little bit higher on. What's the breakdown? Hold on, just a second. Let me take a look. See.
The NPK.
Yeah, looking at the NPK. So I'm at like a 6.46 on my
Hmm.
citrus fertilizer, right? So that's going to be 6 on your nitrogen, 4 on your phosphorus, and then 6 on your potassium. So that's kind of pretty much the makeup I make for all my citrus. I'm not going to do the same that I would do with like a peach. You know what I mean? So it is going to break it up just a little bit. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want to make it seem overly complicated when you're gardening. Like, oh man, I have all these different trees. I need to get each one need their own meal. You don't want to become a sous chef in your kitchen where you're making up all these different meals, right? So long as you just go in moderation, you should be just fine. And making sure you're following the plant's natural growing season too. That's one thing. We're in the middle of winter pretty much throughout the United States. And this is the time you should not be really fertilizing at all because most of your plants are going to be going dormant. They're going to be using less energy. So going back to that pepper, right? The reason why when we're overwintering, we're pruning down all those leaves and everything is we're trying to redirect that energy into that root stock. We don't need you producing fruit and leaves right now. We just want you to just cultivate those roots, you know? So yeah, so when it comes to your fertilizer, just go something, across the board that you can pretty much use all something that's slow release if your season dictates, but just don't go crazy with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. All
I
my
agree.
trees are getting the same stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I know you can optimize each thing with the optimal, but and maybe if my margins were tight, like maybe if I needed X amount of fruit each year to
Well,
survive, or
yeah.
else we're
The
not going to make it
growing
through the
difference.
winter, or we're not going to meet our quota. But I'm just doing this for fun. So everything is getting the same stuff, and there's only marginal differences between the formulas of these things anyway. So I personally I am way too lazy to be giving each tree its own fertilizer. It's not
Same.
happening on my watch.
Like
Yeah.
it's either full strength or half strength for me, and it's usually half strength indoors, full strength outdoors. And again, you can get very specified, but like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. And
Because
most
like
of my trees are
especially
getting, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, especially going back to what you were saying about like if you're in a tight window, like all three of us are in southern regions. I still say Florida's not the South, but we're in southern regions of the United States. If you're somewhere like in Montana, right, and you have a very short window, maybe you do need to optimize your fertilization and your growing schedule because you have a very short window of when you can grow. So it's just going to depend on your region and what works best for you and your budget.
Right. And most of my trees are getting a lot of chop and drop anyways, right? They're getting a lot of Mexican sunflower, a lot of grasses, a lot of, things like that. So they're getting a lot of other plants as their fertilizer anyways. So there's not a lot of, maybe they get some fish emulsion every now and then too. So yeah.
My favorite fish emulsion.
Oh, the joke is when you plant for yourself, you plant for the thief, and you plant for the animals. I always heard that you plant for your family and friends as well. But yeah, you got to plant more than you need to eat because, everybody's getting gonna try to take a share of that there.
Everybody getting
Um,
something.
let's
They
see.
all are. And when we do get something, like if you're growing like fruits and vegetables, especially on all the acreage that Andre has, I know that you should be growing all of the plants that you need to make yourself a good, healthy meal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
And
while
what's yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
go ahead,
I was gonna
Andre.
say, what's something that could like make a meal even better? Do
I
you
hear
know?
about this pepper sauce that got somebody's face on it because I need to get me some more bottles, but they here on the screen. And can you smile with these bottles? Can you smile with you in these bottles? Like, look at you. You see that face? He made this. He made this for you. Tell
Ah,
him about your sauce.
hang on there. Well, this is my sweet and spicy pepper sauce. It's all natural. It's made with 8 different fruits and vegetables. You can get it on Amazon.com. You can also get it at AndreTheFarmer.com. And it comes in a hot and a not so hot version. And they're both absolutely delicious. They turn good food great. So check it out, AndreTheFarmer.com or Amazon. All right.
We love to see it. So yeah, growing all these plants and stuff, there's so much you can do. I know we got some questions about like growing in a farm and tissue culture setup, like any advice for the tissue culture setup, because I don't do a farm. I'll let the other two talk about farming. When you talk about the tissue culture setup, any plant that you want to do for tissue culture is any plant that you are going to be excited to grow. Tissue culture can be very tedious. It can be very hands-on. It can be very backbreaking. You wouldn't think that because you're just sitting literally like at a hood, right? Either in a lab or in your house, and you're just like doing these motions all day, right? Your hands are up all day, but it can be so tedious. But you should do
Well,
plants
Derek,
that you enjoy. Go ahead.
Derek, I'm gonna cut you off because I think we gotta remember a lot of people, look at Andre's face right now.
Yeah.
A lot
Uh-huh.
of people don't know what tissue culture even
Yep.
means. What is that?
What
Like
is
I,
tissue
I
culture?
kind of have the gist of it, but I don't know like
So
exactly what you're doing.
and I thought about it because I was like, you know what? He doesn't do indoor plants. So a lot of the plants that he would grow wouldn't be tissue culture anyway, right? So when it comes to tissue culture, plants have this thing called totipotency, okay? Totipotency, right? Meaning you can grow a whole clone of that plant from pretty much any of its tissue, any of its cells, right? So tissue culture is me literally taking generally leaf tissue, root cuttings, some type of tissue of that plant and basically exposing it to hormones and a growth environment that will tell it to make a whole nother cluster of individuals, right? So in some cases, I can take a small piece of a plant, a inch by inch cutting of a leaf, and literally clone that plant and take that little inch and get 10 individuals, right? Over time. Now, it takes you being very clean. It takes you because it's a sterile process, right? So you have to be super clean because you don't want any fungus or disease or anything ruining that up. And it takes you being very meticulous and patient because you have to literally make sure you are heading off the path. Fungi are trying to take it all out, right? But you want to head out the path so that way your plants have a chance to grow. So I did tissue culture for 9 months. It was a great experience. I thought about doing it for like house plants and stuff to sell them. People do them for that herbaceous perennial. People like to smoke, right? They do them for a lot of house plants, a lot of indoor plants, because you can get a clone, a perfect clone, and you can clone quick. But yeah,
I got a
I
question.
think go ahead.
Like when you tissue culture, say you get your Thai constellation and you tissue culture that,
Mhm.
how long are we talking about before you have a recognizable whole plant?
I'm not sure for that. I'd have to look it up to see how long that would be. But in most cases, it is like months of from start and harvesting the tissue, cleaning it, prepping it, getting budding going, splitting at a certain point, doing however many divisions you're going to do. You can only do like so many divisions before you got to get like genetic uh, failure. And then getting to a point of getting a whole plant can be months to a year. But the returns, if you do it right and you do it enough, can be beautiful because again, you're getting the exact clone of whatever plant you caught harvested, like that when you were saying.
And I imagine you can take one plant and make 100 plants.
You can take like one whole plant and make probably 1,000. If you took all of those little leaves, you could probably make thousands off of that little plant alone.
Yeah.
Wow. So
So
something
for
that only
instance,
makes sense on a large scale.
yeah, yeah.
Go on.
It's a lot of upfront investment, you know, and a lot of work that goes into it, but you're hopefully you're going to get a good return on your investment. For instance, this is a Thai constellation that my wife got me last year for my birthday. And so she got me this Thai constellation, and this was grown from a tissue culture. And as you can see, this plant is almost a year old, and it is not a very big plant because again, it's going to be slower growth. So to answer the question, I'm not sure anyone asked, but why would you do tissue culture as opposed to just doing some leaf cuttings? This plant grows super slow. So if I'm a nursery or if I'm trying to make money off this, doing tissue cultures where I can take and make thousands and have them all growing at the same time, as opposed to just like a leaf cutting or something like that, that's going to take months. And then I got to wait for this to become a bigger plant. It's a whole process.
Right. No,
That's
Yeah.
why you would do a tissue
I'll
culture.
tell you what, that's the best explanation I've ever heard of tissue culture. Like, I'm sure everyone on here learned about tissue culture tonight. Like, thank you, Derek. That was amazing.
And it's what I do. It's what I do. It's a part of being a plant person. So with that, we have so much that again we've chatted about tonight. And again, y'all need to make sure y'all tell us who you want to see next season up here and what you want to see us talk about. DM us here. I'm trying to take a screenshot. There was like one person that was suggested, you know, there was a shout out we wanted to give to, that was requested to give to Starbucks Cat, their YouTube channel, right? I'm reading the comments, but y'all make sure y'all tell us who y'all want to see. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
well,
Audrey.
Blooms and Leaves Plant Nursery said, yes, you should interview some of us regular followers.
I mean, that's a
I'll
good
tell you what,
example.
I don't mind that at all. Maybe, each month, 1 week we pick a follower and they're the person interviewed.
Yeah,
That's
I
easy to
like
do.
that.
Do like
Yeah,
an
that's a
onboarding
great idea.
form. That's really easy. That's cool. See,
All
smart
right.
people. This is why I'm up here with y'all.
Now, look, all I
Uh,
say is don't ghost us when it's your turn to come up. Be like, all right,
okay.
we're gonna interview you. And be like, oh, no, I'm nervous.
Uh-huh. You'll be nervous and I'll be banging at your door. You'll be boom, boom, boom. It's me. I'm outside with a camera. Open up.
Ooh, like those old publisher clearinghouses. We come there with a big check, right?
This is
All right.
great.
JLBC, Jen.
Jen.
Do you guys have a lot of humidity in your house? Like, how are you growing these plants? Because my Swiss cheese does just fine inside, but my Deliciosa and several other plants have just wanted to die inside.
Mm.
So, are you guys keeping
Mm,
track of your humidity inside in any way?
I
Derek,
think
explain your setup, because don't you have something?
I do. One of my things broke, but it's I think 73% RH. So you can do, and that's relative humidity. Relative humidity is like how much water vapor is in the air. So the closer you are to 100%, that means it's like raining or you're
It's
underwater,
raining in your house.
right? You know, 73% is like, and like I try not to get too much water in here, but the plants they put out water vapor and life just be life,
Transpiration.
and so
Mhm.
it's amazing. But yeah, it's like 73% in here. My plants love it. I have different setups where they're by themselves or in an aquarium, and they are enjoying it. So like, if you have the opportunity to get you a little RH meter, especially something that can connect to the Wi-Fi or something, and that can
Mhm.
report to you what's up, like I definitely encourage all of you to track what's going on within your house and in your plants.
Okay.
Now, I will
J-
say, I do not monitor my humidity because, as you guys may be able to see, we're in my plant room here. And in the plant room, the way I conquer and have the humidity I need is plant density. I have so many plants in here. In this room alone, I know you can't see everything in here. We're probably looking at about a good 150 plants in here. So I have
Ooh,
a
What?
yeah, seriously. I mean, I hold on. We got to pick up the camera. You
we
guys
got
got
to
to see
pick up
this.
the camera. We got to see
All right, let me move my hand out the way. All right, we got, I mean, just a smorgasbord of plants
this. Oh my
all over
goodness.
the walls, growing on the ceiling. I mean, I like my plants, yo. So I mean, my ivy,
What do
she
you
needs a
do when
little
you
water.
go on vacation?
I just water them before I go.
I was about to say that's what you do.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah, and
you
plus,
don't go for longer than a week.
yeah, I'm not going for longer than a week, so I just water before I go.
Okay.
And or I got a buddy that lives down the street. This is the great thing about having a gardening community, right? I got a buddy. He lives about 2 or 3 blocks down. I call him up like, "Hey, go water my monsteras for me." He's like, "All right, I got you." But now going back to humidity, I will say something. All right, this is cool because
Hmm.
many of you know that I just got a new greenhouse. It is a portable greenhouse by the makers over at Haven Outdoors, and it actually has a humidity monitor in there. This is my first season using this greenhouse. And so when Derek was talking about the RH, right? 70% RH, your relative humidity, dude, in my greenhouse right now, it's about 72% humidity. It's like a tropical rainforest in there. And my elbows, my ferns, my tomatoes, they are all loving it. When I go in there and I just kind of tap the greenhouse, it's like rain.
Nice, nice. That is awesome. That's awesome. Now, speaking of awesome,
Mhm.
Sonia's
Oh,
bug spray. This stuff is amazing. It's all naturals made with lemongrass. I don't go anywhere without this. I have this here. I have this in Mexico. Anytime I go on vacation, this is the one thing that I don't forget to bring. It's made with lemongrass and all kinds of all natural things. You can get it at soniasbugspray.com. You can also get it on the TikTok shop. And when I tell you this stuff feels and smells like lotion, this stuff is amazing. I hate to even call it bug spray because it doesn't feel like bug spray. It's also a great after bite as well. If you do get bit, put this stuff on it. You'll feel much better. Sonia's Bug Spray, soniasbugspray.com, or on the TikTok shop.
and it smells great too.
That was awesome. Now, Jen said, I don't know if this is a misprint or not, but Jen says, I have a corn plant that is flowering right now. I've never seen that. And my stepmother gave it to me, just told me the plant is 38 years old or more.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Corn?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the corn plant, which is a Dracaena. So not corn plant
Oh, it's not corn.
outdoors.
Mhm.
No, not corn
Okay, I'm
edible.
like, corn?
Corn
How do you have a
Dracaena.
38-year-old corn?
it's, it's just a Dracaena. So it's in the same family as Sansevieras.
Mhm.
Sansevieras have been moved to that family, Dracaena or Dracaenas. They got all multiple ways to say it. But very slow growing plants, very old plants. One thing you should do, and Gray is showing us one, this is great. One thing you should do when you're watching old TV shows is see what plants are in there because
Yeah.
it'll often be a snake plant or Dracaena or sometimes a monstera because they can just, take being in the dark for a bit.
Yeah. That corn plant that's behind me is about five
Wait,
years old.
that's a corn plant?
Yep. I have it growing up. It's right next to two of my what are those things called? Moringa, two of my
Okay.
moringa trees. But
So
yeah,
will it flower in 30 years?
if the conditions are right, it may produce flowering and so forth. I mean, because just this season, I had two snake plants that started flowering on me that were in my master bath. Going back to we're talking about that humidity factor, right? I have a lot of plants that are in my master bath because trying not to reveal too much information, but sometimes you have to create an atmosphere, right? And I want that master bath to kind of have that jungle just released and vacation kind of vibes in there. So I have a lot of humidity from the showers and so forth in there. And yeah, my snake plants actually started flowering just a couple of months ago. So yeah,
Cool,
conditions are
Congratulations.
right. Thank you.
cool,
Just like my
cool.
Christmas cactus, it flowered multiple times this year. You keep them happy, they grow.
Derek. All right, so I gotta say this low, guys, because my little boy is close by. So, all right, you're gonna love this. We were out Christmas shopping,
Uh-huh.
and we're walking through the Walmart, and we're picking out gifts for his mother and so forth. And he was like, "Hey, Dad, what plant is that?" I was like, "Oh, son, that's a Christmas cactus." He was like, "Oh, well, maybe you should get me one of those for Christmas." I said, well, son, you already have a lot of plants, dude. And without skipping a beat, like a true plant parent, he said, yeah, but I don't have that one.
That's
I had to get one for him. So
that's
I
good.
got it hidden up in here. I'm gonna give it to him on Christmas, but I got one for him. I'm like, dude, I can't mess with that logic. I love it. You don't have
You
that one. You
can.
need that
I'll tell you what, that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy that you got kids that want plants for Christmas. That's unbelievable, man.
We
Now,
love to see it.
Starbucks Cat asks, any advice for a small grower farmer starting out on roughly 10 acres?
Mm,
I don't consider you a small grower farmer if you've got 10 acres of land. Like, I don't think people grasp how big 10 acres are.
that's a
You
lot.
can feed, you can feed whole communities on 10 acres of land. Like, I know a guy who's got a market for him. It's Ever Oaks Farm. And I'm not sure if he has 10 acres, but he services all kinds of restaurants and a bunch of people like do this co-op where they put in money and they get a certain amount of groceries every month from him. Like
Mm,
he's feeding hundreds, maybe thousands of people on less than 10 acres of land. So you are not a small farm um, in terms of um, I guess you could say
scale.
not
size of
like
your
you're not
house.
industrial farm, but in terms of like regular people farm, you're a pretty good sized farm.
Well, I can give a little bit of advice. And now, of
Mm,
course, grain of salt. Everything that I'm about to say, always my default is going to be do what works best for you. But now, of course, small farm, 10 acres, that sounds pretty good. It's going to depend a lot on where you're located in the
He's up
United
north. He's
States.
up
Oh,
north.
he's up north? Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say start small. Find you something that you're really good at growing and go from there. Don't try to grow on the whole 10 acres right out the gates if you're just starting out because it may become overwhelming and expensive really quick. I mean, because you're going to have to irrigate that or water that. You're going to have to manage all those crops. You're going to have pest problems. You can have soil problems. Start small and then grow from there. But I would start off with, and I know Andre says, no, grow everything you possibly can. When we're talking 10 acres, you do
mm.
not want to grow everything you possibly
But
can.
it depends on what you're growing for. Like, are you growing this farm to make a living? Are you doing this as a hobby? Are you doing this to feed your family? Like your objective is kind of important in this case here because
Yeah.
he
True.
suggested maybe like apples or some non-fruiting trees. Like, are you trying to start a nursery?
Because
Um,
if they're doing apples, that makes sense up north. He's going to probably get the chill hours that he needs for apples.
Oh yeah, he can grow apples
True.
easily up there. That's no problem at all. But are you trying to sort of because he said some non-fruiting trees? Like I'm thinking like, are you just trying to like have a nursery where you're selling trees?
Yeah. What's
So
the end game, right?
yeah.
It's
Oh,
plenty. Yeah.
we have a pretty desperate question here.
Okay.
They said, please, my jumbo alocasia can only grow two stems at a time. When the third begins to grow, the other dies, leaving only two. Please tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Mm. So alocasias, if you, depending on your indoor or outdoor, they will drop leaves. Like I have an alocasia in the corner, and as a couple of new leaves come out, they will drop leaves, but they drop leaves quicker when the humidity's not up. Part of the reason why, part of the reason why humidity's up in the house is because I have so many plants that I missed. And then another part is like I just try to like keep the humidity up in here because it keeps them happy. And if they're happy, they're not quick to drop a leaf and try to go and end all their living. So it could be that. It could be humidity or light. What if there's U gray?
I say also check soil, check that container that you have it in. If you have this allocation in a container, see if it's outgrown it, see if it has enough soil. When's the last time you topped that soil off? Maybe give it a little bit of boost because you may have too much energy or too much nutrients being pulled away from that plant. Do you get what I'm saying? Or being pulled away from the soil. So look at the whole picture. Don't look at just that one tree that's in that Bob Ross painting. Look at the whole picture and see if you can, you can see everything that's going on, and then of course hit us back, DM myself or any one of us, and send pictures because I'm all about send me some pictures so we can see what's going on so we can help you as best as possible. But look
Yeah,
at the
guys,
whole picture.
we are running out of time. I don't think we got to all the questions, but guys, thank you for following us for our first season of the Dirt on Gardening podcast. I think it's been a great success. Hopefully next season we can come back bigger and better. Any final words for the year, guys?
Derek, take it.
Derek.
This has been an amazing time of growth and cultivation of us here on the Dirt on Gardening podcast. We have went through a plethora of names, right? Because we were like grow bros and two plants in a pot and the planty by nature, plants with attitude. We went through a lot of rap names that came up here. Personally, I was playing a PMX. It was like DMX with plants music X, right? And then it was like, arf, arf. But when it comes to this, we are so grateful that you have been a part of our journey doing this thing. Now, this was our first season. I am so excited to see what we do in the next season. We'll be back sometime in January, right? That date will be more solidified in the new year, right? But thank you for being here with us. But here's what I want you to do, person watching us right now. Go and share this live. Talk about it with all the people and let them know what we're doing because y'all are here at the bottom floor and we've only just begun.
Great. Anything? We're
Oh,
overtime. We're already overtime.
I didn't know if we were still recording. Yes, I'm gonna
The
say
YouTube is.
personal
The
plug.
YouTube is.
I'm gonna say go check out when we launch our new show with Botanical Interest. If you haven't subscribed to Botanical Interest, subscribe now so that you can go see our new show Q&A with Gray because I would love to answer your questions on this new platform.
Where do we subscribe?
That's Botanical Interest at YouTube and also on their Instagram as well. It's going to be a new show. It's going to be really fun. I can't wait to see you there.
All right, guys. We'll see you next year. Thank you, guys. We're out of time. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.
Merry Christmas.